Meghan Markle and Prince Harry made what was supposed to be a grand entrance, though it looked more like a careful little tiptoe at the World Mental Health Day Festival in New York. Fresh off their shiny new Humanitarians of the Year title, you'd think the room would erupt. But if you didn't hear applause, it's because there wasn't any. Not a clap, not a cheer, not even a polite cough. They walked into Spring Studios clearly anticipating a red carpet reaction. A few gasps, maybe a misty-eyed fan or two. But instead, pure silence. Crickets. One guy lifted his head to glance at them. Just one. Everyone else was far too busy scrolling, sipping coffee, or simply existing to notice. That's right. Meghan and Harry walked into the room, and the collective reaction was basically, oh, them. This is the same duo whose PR machine can turn a routine grocery run into a global act of service. But when they arrived at a mental health event they claimed to champion, the energy wasn't royal entrance. It was more couple who wandered into the wrong conference room. In a surprising plot twist, Harry actually strode in ahead of Meghan, a rare sight. Meghan trailed behind, likely calculating on the spot how this awkward moment could be rebranded into a glossy, Vogue-worthy narrative. And even more unbelievable, no hand-holding. Somehow, miraculously, they remained upright without the usual, look how in love we are grip. Then came the start of the speech. Harry stepped up to the mic first, sharing thoughts about anxiety and depression during the pandemic, which, let's be honest, felt a bit tone-deaf coming from someone who spent lockdown in a sprawling California estate while telling the world how exhausting fame can be. Meghan sat front and center, sporting that trademark, deeply moved and incredibly proud expression she wheels out at every photo op. Online reactions rolled in fast. Some joked that Meghan must have requested silence to appear modest. Others wondered if they intentionally arrived late, hoping for a dramatic spotlight moment. Either way, whatever big entrance they were aiming for simply did not happen. And then came Meghan's turn. She introduced a panel on how digital media affects children, but somehow managed to steer the spotlight back to herself. A classic move. She talked about parents transforming heartbreak into activism, mentioned some mysterious partnerships and data, which she never actually showed, and even slipped in a humble flex about meeting Katie Couric. It felt like watching someone deliver a TED Talk, without the TED, the talk, or anything resembling a point. And then there's the bigger irony. Harry's mental health commentary came one day after Catherine, the Princess of Wales. You know, the one who actually has research, credibility, and a well-thought-out message, released a nuanced essay on digital disconnection. It almost felt like Harry saw her work, panicked, and scribbled together his own version somewhere between baggage claim and takeoff. So let's sum it up. Two self-declared global change-makers walked into a room, received absolutely zero reaction, delivered speeches that evaporated from memory instantly, and slipped out again. If performative activism needed a logo, it would be these two dressed in coordinated beige, striking their impactful but unnoticed pose. Because honestly, the true stars of that event weren't the photogenic royals with their polished smiles. It was the everyday people actually doing the hard work in mental health, the ones who don't need cameras, applause, or fancy titles to make a real difference.